he was in the building, he was being chased by a man dressed as a buffalo, but he showed up anyway. He showed up without mother. Karen Pence opted not to celebrate the man who was all good with a bunch of yahoos killing her husband. A lot of people were surprised to see the former Vice President Mike Pence show up, but he did. No, that's not him. That is definitely not him. Mike is actually the fun one in the couple. The award for Best Dressed at today's inauguration, let's go back to that, went to Senator John Fetterman, who it looked like his mom interrupted his Fortnite game and forced him to come downstairs.
Breaking news. Goth Melania steals the show at Trump's inauguration. Move over, Wednesday Addams. There's a new Gothic queen in town. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. But Melania's fashion statement was just the tip of the iceberg. We've got tech billionaires, convicted felons, and promises that'll make your head spin. It's like a reality show, but with nuclear codes.
Trump said the golden age of America begins right now. Twice, he bragged about a landslide victory. That was in no way a landslide victory.
And to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed, their freedom. Election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
Folks, let's talk about Melania's outfit at the inauguration. It was like she raided the wardrobe of every goth character in TV history. I mean, who knew the White House was getting its own Morticia Addams? Social media went wild, comparing her to Wednesday Addams and even Carmen Sandiego. I guess we finally found out where in the world Carmen Sandiego was at Trump's inauguration. But seriously, this wasn't your typical First Lady look. Usually we see bright colors and big smiles. Melania, she went full-on funeral chic. It's like she was mourning the death of her freedom for the next 4 years. Fashion experts were scratching their heads, wondering if she got the memo about it being Inauguration Day, not Halloween. Now, let's talk about that almost kiss. Trump went in for a smooch, but Melania's hat said, "Not today, pal." It was like watching a rom-com, but instead of the girl running away, it was just her hat cock-blocking the president. Maybe she's playing 4D chess. Can't catch COVID if your husband can't reach your face, right? But let's be real, that outfit was screaming, "I'd rather be anywhere else," louder than a teenager at a family reunion. It's like she lost a bet with the Addams family and had to dress like them for a day. Poor Donald was probably thinking, "I knew I should have married that hat instead." At least it showed up for him.
It was, I was gonna say historic, but it was really just a very weird day in our country's history today. A day that was unimaginable 4 years ago, and it's still pretty hard to wrap your head around. Donald Trump became the first convicted felon to be sworn in as President of the United States today. He is selling inauguration Bibles to celebrate. He launched a new meme coin over the weekend. President McRib is back for a limited time, only 4 years. Today at noon Eastern, our long national nightmare was officially sworn in. Another time, a second time.
Remember when first ladies wore colorful suits? Pepperidge Farm remembers, and so do I. But Melania decided to go rogue and dress like she was auditioning for a Tim Burton movie. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for her. You know, I've gotta hand it to Melania. She found a way to stand out in a sea of red MAGA hats. It's not easy to be the darkest cloud on an already gloomy day, but she managed it. Maybe she was trying to camouflage herself against the White House at night for a quick getaway. Well, folks, it looks like Trump's inauguration was more star-studded than a Silicon Valley Christmas party. The guest list was a who's who of tech billionaires, probably because they're the only ones who could afford the steep entry fee. I mean, when you've got more money than God, what's a measly $1 million donation to rub elbows with the soon-to-be most powerful man in the world, right?
Going first couple welcomed the incoming president and first lady, which was interesting to watch. Trump actually got involved in Melania's outfit for this ceremony. Biden and Trump rode together to the Capitol in a limousine like a divorced couple on their way to their kid's graduation. Jill Biden rode with Melania Trump. They both cried the whole way there, different reasons. Kamala Harris invited J.D. Vance to the vice president's residence at the Naval Observatory for a ceremonial humping of the Millard Fillmore futon.
Elon Musk showed up, probably to pitch his latest plan for making America great again on Mars. Jeff Bezos was there too, probably thinking, hey, I already own half the country, might as well own the president too. It's like watching a bunch of kids with too much allowance money trying to buy the biggest toy in the store, except the toy is orange, talks funny, and might accidentally start World War III. But wait, it gets better. Trump, in his infinite wisdom, decided to sell inauguration Bibles because nothing says I'm a good Christian like a guy who's been divorced more times than I've had hot dinners and has more fraud convictions than commandments. As Jimmy Kimmel put it, nothing says Jesus like a guy with multiple divorces and fraud convictions. Amen to that, Jimmy. And speaking of things that make you go, huh?
The Republic will be reorganized into the first Galactic Empire!
You know, John, even Adam Sandler wears a suit to the Golden Globes. After he was sworn in, Trump gave his second inaugural address, which I have to say was more ominous than I anticipated.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Trump made some pretty wild promises in his inaugural address. Apparently, he's planning to rename the Gulf of Mexico. I guess Trump's big water was already taken? Maybe he's hoping that if he renames it, all that pesky Mexican water will magically turn into freedom juice. Good luck with that, buddy. But hey, why stop at renaming bodies of water when you can promise to plant a flag on Mars? I mean, sure, we've got a few problems here on Earth, like poverty, climate change, and the fact that my neighbor still doesn't know how to parallel park, but clearly what we really need is a stars and stripes selfie opportunity on the red planet. You know, watching these tech billionaires suck up to Trump is like watching a bunch of high school nerds trying to impress the school bully. As Kimmel pointed out, it really has been amazing to watch these powerful men who don't need to ever make another dollar in their lives debasing themselves to suck up to this ridiculous person. It's almost sweet in a pathetic, soul-crushing kind of way. Well, folks, it looks like we're not the only ones feeling like we've stepped into the Twilight Zone. Seth Meyers summed it up perfectly when he said, "It's too weird to be real." I mean, when a late-night host compares his disbelief to Martin Luther King's dream, you know we're in deep. Stephen Colbert tried to find a silver lining, joking that it wasn't all pure darkness, just most of it. Thanks, Stephen. That's like saying the Titanic wasn't a total disaster because some people got a nice boat ride first. But leave it to Jon Stewart to really nail the absurdity. He called it a historic vibe shift and dubbed the tech billionaire-filled event an open source Illuminati gathering. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to think we're living in a badly written sitcom. Maybe next season we'll wake up and find out it was all just a dream or a nightmare. Take your pick.